Here is a beach town in America where the local government will give you a house, waive your property taxes for 5 years, and pay you a monthly stipend just to move there and open a business. No, this is not a scam. It is a dying coastal town so desperate for residents that free housing is cheaper than watching the town disappear completely. Everyone thinks beach living means million-dollar homes, trust fund neighbors, and paying $8 for a coffee while tourists clog every street. But here is what nobody tells you. Scattered across America's coastlines are forgotten beach towns, real places with sand, water, and sunsets where the population has collapsed so dramatically that living there costs almost nothing, where rent is $300 a month, where abandoned houses sell for $5,000, and where some towns will literally pay you to exist there because empty buildings are worse than occupied ones. We are going to look at 9 of them. These are not vacation spots. These are survival spots. They are places where the economy broke, the people left, and the prices fell through the floor. Some are dangerous, some are quiet, some are just waiting for someone to care again. We are not here to sell you a dream. We are here to show you the reality, the good, the bad, and the cheap. Keep your eyes open. The details matter, because when a place is this cheap, there is always a reason. Let us find out why.
Number 1. Fort Morgan, Alabama. Here is a town at the end of the road. Literally, the pavement stops, the crowds stop, and the prices stop too. This is Fort Morgan, Alabama. It sits on the tip of the peninsula. To get here, you have to drive past Gulf Shores. You have to drive past the hotels. You have to drive past the traffic. Most people turn around before they reach the end. That is why it is cheap. The cost of living here is a fraction of what you pay just 10 miles away. You can find cottages here that cost less than a car, but you need to know what you are buying. You are buying isolation. In the summer, the heat is heavy. The humidity sticks to your skin. You cannot escape it. The air feels like water. And in the winter, the town shuts down. The shops close. The lights go off. You are alone with the sound of the waves. Some people call this peace. Some people call it lonely. There are no big grocery stores. There are no hospitals nearby. If you get sick, you drive. If you need something, you plan ahead. But the beach is yours. The white sand is empty. The water is warm. You can walk for miles and not see a soul. For the right person, this is freedom. For the wrong person, it is a trap. The houses are old. Many are built on stilts. They weather the storms. They weather the salt. They stay standing when others fall. Why is it so quiet? Because the road ends. Because the world moved on to the bigger resorts. But the water did not move. The sun did not move. And the price did not go up. It stays low because people forget it is there. They want the convenience. They want the Wi-Fi. They want the crowd. Here, you get the coast. Nothing else. It is a trade. Silence for convenience. Space for comfort. If you can handle the quiet, the cost is almost nothing.
Number 2. Gulfport, Mississippi. Here is a town that works. It does not pretend to be a resort. It does not paint itself blue to look pretty. This is Gulfport, Mississippi. It has a port. It has ships. It has industry. That keeps the prices down. You can buy a home here with 3 bedrooms for the price of a garage in California. The water is warm. The people are friendly. They wave when you drive by. It feels like the South used to feel. But you have to look closely. Gulfport has scars. Hurricanes have hit this coast hard. You can see the buildings that are new next to the lots that are empty. Insurance costs are high. That is the hidden tax. You might save on the mortgage, but you pay for protection. Every year you write a check hoping you do not need to use it. The town is rebuilding. There is new life here. New restaurants, new parks. The downtown area is waking up. But it is not perfect. Some streets are rougher than others. You have to pick your spot carefully. Drive down the main road and it looks fine. Turn down a side street and things change. It is not a place for someone who wants a polished, manicured lawn. It is a place for someone who wants real life. It is gritty, it is honest, and for many, that is worth more than a fresh coat of paint. There is a sense of resilience here. People know what it is like to lose everything, and they know what it is like to build it back. That changes a town. It makes it harder, it makes it stronger, and it keeps the outsiders away, which keeps the prices low. Number 3. Port Arthur, Texas. Here is a town that smells like money, but not the kind you spend, the kind you make. This is Port Arthur, Texas. It is industrial. There are refineries nearby. You can see the flames burning at night. You can smell the oil in the air sometimes. The water is not the bright blue of the Caribbean. It is murky. It is green and brown. It looks like swamp water, but it is the Gulf of Mexico, and the cost of living is incredibly low. You can buy a house here for the price of a used car. That is not an exaggeration. You can hold the keys to a home for less than most people spend on a vacation. Why is it so cheap? The industry, the smell, the heat. It is not a vacation spot. It is a home for people who work in the plants or the port. They wear hard hats, they work shifts, they go home to sleep. But there is a community here. There are people who have lived here for generations. They know the hidden spots. They know where the fishing is good. They know which days the wind blows the smell away. They know which beaches are clean and which ones to avoid. It is not for everyone. Most people will visit and leave quickly. They take one look at the refineries and turn around. But for the locals, it is home. It shows us that a beach town does not have to be pretty to be affordable. Sometimes you are paying for the water access, not the view. And for some, that is enough. There is a beauty in it if you look hard enough. The sunsets are bright orange against the gray smoke. The water is calm. The boats move slowly. It is a different kind of coast. It is the working coast. It is the coast that keeps the lights on for the rest of the country. And because of that, it stays cheap. Number 4. Ocean Shores, Washington. Here is a town where the sun is a rumor. This is Ocean Shores, Washington. It is a peninsula. It is windy. It is cloudy. It rains a lot. If you want sun, go somewhere else. Do not come here. But if you want the ocean without the California price tag, this is it. You can breathe here. The air is cold and clean. The town was built for tourists in the 60s, you can tell. There are canals dug into the land. There are wide streets that feel empty. There are motels that look like they are from another time. The signs are faded. The neon lights buzz at night. Because the weather is moody, the prices stay reasonable. You can find condos here that are very affordable. You can buy a unit with a view of the water for less than a room in Seattle. The beach is massive. It is hard-packed sand. You can drive on parts of it. It feels open. It feels free. The catch is the weather. It is gray. The wind cuts through your jacket. It rains for days at a time. It is not a place for sunbathing. It is a place for walking. It is a place for thinking. The solitude here is deep. In the off-season, you might have the whole beach to yourself. You will see maybe one other person walking a dog. That kind of quiet is hard to find, and usually it costs a lot more. Here, you just have to bring a raincoat. You have to accept the gray. Some people find it depressing. Some people find it calming. It washes everything clean. The noise of the world gets drowned out by the sound of the rain and the waves, and for that silence, the price is low. Number 5. Coos Bay, Oregon. Here is a town that time forgot. This is Coos Bay, Oregon. It is another working town. It has logs, it has ships, it has history. The architecture is old, brick buildings from the early 1900s. Some of it is falling apart, some of it is beautiful. Vines grow up the walls, windows are broken, but some are being fixed. The cost of living is low for the Pacific Northwest. You are near the ocean. You are near forests. You are near mountains. It is a hub for nature lovers who do not have a big budget. But like Gulfport, it has struggles. The economy has changed. The logs do not move like they used to. The ships are fewer. Jobs are not everywhere. The town is trying to find its footing. Some buildings are empty. Some streets feel tired. The paint is peeling on the storefronts. But there is a charm in that. It feels authentic. It does not feel like a theme park. It feels like a town that has lived a life. You can hike in the morning and see the ocean in the afternoon. The air smells like pine and salt. It is a specific kind of life. It is slower, it is quieter, and it is getting harder to find places like this on the West Coast. Coos Bay is holding on. It is not shiny, but it is real. There are diners here that have been open for 50 years. The coffee is cheap. The people know your order. That kind of stability is rare. And because the economy is slow, the rent stays low. You are paying for the history, you are paying for the access, but you are not paying for the glamour.
Number 6. Absecon, New Jersey. Here is a town next to the lights. This is Absecon, New Jersey. People make jokes about Jersey. They talk about the traffic, they talk about the attitude, but the coast there is serious. Atlantic City is famous for casinos, it is famous for lights, but the towns around it are different. Take Absecon, or even parts of Atlantic City itself. Off-season, the prices drop, the crowds leave, the boardwalk is empty, the wind blows off the Atlantic, it is cold, it is loud, the waves crash against the pilings, but it is the ocean.
Living here year-round is different than visiting. You see the city without the tourists. You see the locals buying groceries. You see the reality of a town built on entertainment. When the slots stop paying, what is left? The housing stock is older. Condos can be found for low prices if you look hard. You have to look past the casinos. You have to look at the residential streets. The taxes are high, though. That is New Jersey. You have to do the math. You have to count every penny. But the access to the beach is there. The train goes to Philadelphia. The train goes to New York. You are close to big cities, but you live by the water. It is a compromise. You deal with the noise and the taxes to get the location. For some commuters, it works. They take the train in the morning, they come back to the sound of the waves at night. For others, it is too much. The city feel is too strong. The sand is not as soft as the South. But it is an option, and options are rare. There is a feeling here that anything can happen. The lights flash, the people move fast, but the water stays steady. It is a strange mix of energy and calm. And in the shadow of the casinos, the rent can be surprisingly manageable.
Number 7. Wildwood, New Jersey. Here is a town that sleeps in the winter. This is Wildwood, New Jersey. It is famous for its boardwalk. It is loud in the summer, very loud. The music plays from every shop. The rides scream. The people shout. But in the winter, it shuts down. The shops close, the rides stop, the town goes to sleep. The wind blows the paper down the street. If you live there year-round, you get a different deal. The housing can be affordable because everyone thinks it is only for summer. They think no one would stay when it is cold, but people do. They live there all the time. They know the quiet streets. They know the best diners that stay open. They know which houses survive the storms. The houses are often small. They are close together. You can hear your neighbors. You can hear the TV through the wall. It is a community feel. Everyone knows everyone. But the storms are a risk. The salt air eats everything. Cars rust, paint peels, metal turns to dust. You have to maintain your home constantly. It is not a place for someone who wants to lock the door and leave for a month. It needs care. It needs attention. But the reward is the sea. You can walk to the beach in your slippers. That convenience is valuable. And in Wildwood, it does not cost as much as you think. If you can handle the winter silence, the summer noise is just a few months of the year. The off-season prices are where the secret lies. When the tourists leave, the landlords get nervous, and that is when you can find a deal. Number 8. Mexico Beach, Florida. Here is a town that came back from the dead. This is Mexico Beach, Florida. Everyone knows Florida is getting expensive. The prices go up every year. But there are pockets. Mexico Beach is one. It is small. It was hit hard by a hurricane a few years ago. It is rebuilding. You can see the new houses next to the old foundations. When a place rebuilds, prices can be strange. Some things are cheap because people are scared. They remember the water rising. They remember the wind tearing the roofs off. Some things are expensive because everything is new. In Mexico Beach, there are still deals, if you know where to look. It is small. It is quiet. It does not have the high-rises of Panama City Beach. There are no big hotels blocking the view. It feels like a town from the past. Wooden boardwalks, small shops, people wave at each other. They know your name. The water is stunning. It is that bright Florida blue. It looks like glass, but the risk is there. Hurricanes are a fact of life here. It is not a question of if, it is a question of when. Insurance is a headache. It is hard to get, it is hard to keep. You have to be prepared. You have to have a plan. You have to know where to go when the sirens sound. If you are willing to accept that risk, the lifestyle is sweet. It is slow, it is warm, it is friendly. It is what people imagine when they think of Florida, just without the crowds and without the massive price tag of the big cities nearby. There is a sense of fragility here. Everything feels temporary. The sand moves, the dunes shift, the houses are built on sticks. It reminds you that nature is in charge, not us. We're just visiting, even if we live here forever. And because of that risk, the entry price stays lower than the safe zones.
Number 9. Corpus Christi, Texas. Here is a town that offers balance. This is Corpus Christi, Texas. It is a bigger city. It has jobs, it has hospitals, it has schools. It is not just a tourist trap. It is a real city on the bay. The water is calm, it is protected by an island. The waves are small. It is good for fishing, it is good for sailing. The boats rock gently in the harbor. The cost of living is reasonable for a city of this size. You can find apartments near the water, you can find houses with yards. The heat is the main thing. Summer is long. It is hot from May until October. You live indoors during the day. The air conditioning hums all the time. You come out when the sun goes down. The culture is mixed. It is Texan, it is Mexican, it is coastal. The food is great. Tacos by the water, seafood cooked simply. The life is relaxed. People drive slowly, they take their time. But it is not a perfect paradise. There are industrial areas, you can see the ships loading cargo. There is traffic, it is a city after all. But it offers something the small towns do not: stability. You can work here, you can live here, you can grow old here, you can send your kids to school here, and you can still see the water from your kitchen window. For many people, that balance is the real dream. Not the perfect photo, not the empty beach, but the real life. The life where you have a job and a view, where you can pay your bills and watch the sunset. It is not glamorous, it is not exciting, but it is sustainable. And in this economy, sustainable is rare. That is why people stay, and that is why the prices do not skyrocket like the pure resort towns.
So we have looked at 9 places, from the humidity of Alabama to the rain of Washington, from the industrial ports of Texas to the quiet streets of New Jersey. They are all different. They all have flaws. Nothing is perfect. If someone tells you a place is perfect, they are probably trying to sell you something. They are hiding the catch. These towns are not perfect. They are hot, or cold, or windy, or far from work, or risky during storm season. There is always something. There is always a trade-off. But they are accessible. That is the key word. For a long time, the American coast felt like it was closing off, like it was becoming a club for the rich, like the gates were locking. These places show that the door is not fully locked. There are still cracks where you can slip through. You just have to know where to look, and you have to be willing to accept the trade-offs. You cannot have everything. You cannot have the perfect weather, the perfect job, the perfect view, and the perfect price. You have to pick 2, maybe 3. You have to decide what matters most to you. Living near the water changes you. It changes how you sleep. It changes how you breathe. The air is different. It is heavier. It is wetter. The light is different. It reflects off the water. It shines into your room in the morning. Even the sound of silence is different when the ocean is nearby. It is a constant presence. It is always there, even when you cannot see it. It reminds you that the world is big. It reminds you that things change. Tides come in, tides go out, storms pass, the sun comes back, the water stays.
Maybe that is why people want it. Even with the cost, even with the risk, there is a comfort in that rhythm. In a world that feels fast and unpredictable, the ocean is steady. It has been there longer than us. It will be there after us. Living near it feels like borrowing some of that stability. It feels like anchoring yourself to something that will not move, something that will not leave. So, what do you think? Is it worth it? Would you take the humidity for the view? Would you take the rain for the peace? Would you live near the refineries to own a home? Or is the dream just too much trouble? There is no right answer. It depends on what you need. It depends on what you are willing to give up. It depends on what you are running toward and what you are running from. If you enjoyed this slow look at the map, consider subscribing. And remember, the best place is not always the most expensive one. Sometimes it is just the one that feels like home. Thanks for listening.